Hey, it's Unit 3 and the second quarter. Unit 3, Chapter 5, Lesson 1, Algebraic Expressions. Taking it away, Mrs. Benoit.
Hi. Okay, here we go. Unit 3. Um, Algebraic expressions, as Mr. Romanovich said. Your target for this is that you will be able to create algebraic expressions that include an operator and a variable. And if you don't know what any of that means, hopefully you will by the end of this lesson. So at the end, and you will see this again at the end, we're going to ask you to write 3 of your own algebraic expressions using different operations and variables. Okay, so what is an algebraic expression? I have an example right here, n plus 2. The things that make up an algebraic expression are variables, that would be your letter that represents your unknown, the n, numbers, 2, and at least one operation. So in this one, it's addition. Some other examples of algebraic expressions that you might have seen, maybe x plus 4. This is why we've asked you not to use the x in multiplication anymore, because you're going to see it as a variable. The reverse of that, you could have 4 plus x. You have your number, operator, and variable. Addition isn't the only operation that we have. You could have 2 minus w. You could also see division, where you might have y divided by 16. And then multiplication as well. Multiplication we'll see written as something like this, where you have a number next to a variable. You might see it with the multiplication dot, but more likely you're going to see the number right next to it, and we would read that as 4 times n. So speaking of that, let's look here at the parts of the algebraic expression. All right, so I have a new expression, 4n plus 2. The variable is right here, and it's the n, and the variable is a letter used to represent an unknown. So in this case, we're using n. In some of the other examples I did on the previous board, we had w, we had y, okay? Coefficient is another part of the algebraic expression, and the coefficient comes in front of the variable. It is a number that comes in front of the variable. And that tells you how many of that variable you need. So in this algebraic expression, 4n, we're taking 4 of those n's and we're multiplying them. So n times 4. And then constant is the number you're adding or subtracting in your expression. So in this expression, we are adding 2. On the previous board we were subtracting 2, and I think adding 4 as well. Variable, coefficient tells how many of that variable to take, and constant. And real quick, if we think back to the expression on the previous board, I believe it was n plus 2. There's no coefficient written here, but what do we assume it to be? Do you know? We assume it to be 1. It's not written, but we assume it to be 1. We'll be talking a lot about that in this unit. Okay, so with that information, let's see if you can hit your target. We're asking you to create 3 algebraic expressions using different operations. What are the operations that we're talking about? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And we want you to use 3 different variables. So we're asking you to use these 3. You don't get to choose. We want x, we want y, and we want z. And we want them in 3 different expressions. So your first expression will have an x with an operator, your second will have a y with the operator, and your third will have a z with the operator. Good luck.